Can you hear us now, Eric? Okay.
Okay. We weren't, the owl wasn't on.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be able to hear us now.
Eric, we just passed the motion to approve the minutes from, last meeting. Did you have anything that you needed to object to?
Nope.
Okay. So we'll move on to old business, starting with,
Oh, Lori's here too.
oh, great.
All right, Josh, I'm gonna hang up on this and we'll wait for you to join us because we have a quorum now, but join us anyway. Okay, bye.
Parks capital projects update.
Yeah, I want to give a quick update on what we're wrapping up this year. I thought I took a picture this morning, but then I looked at my phone and I must not have, so I think I got distracted, but over at Travis Park, we are putting the foundation in, like as we speak, for the 24x36 picnic shelter. We have a contractor doing the concrete work. The parks guys did the whole site prep. They had to excavate it out. They put ground cloth down, poured 3/4 minus gravel, spread that. And then the concrete should be in by the end of this week, I believe. The last thing we're waiting for, it's super frustrating because that thing would be done by the end of next week. But for the engineer's review of the vertical part of the structure. So we had an engineer review the concrete pad. They signed off on that. But the structure itself, that's in a queue with the company we bought the plans from, Timber Frame, what's the company called? Timber Frame HQ. It's out of Minnesota, I think. And their structural engineer is going to review our plans and stamp them, but we can't get a building permit. And for a structure like this, it's gonna house, thousands of people over the years. We need to have it signed off on by our building official, the city, Pete. And you can't do that without an engineer stamp on the drawings. So we're in a queue. They say it's probably gonna be a couple weeks, but the materials have all been prepared. Hey, Eric,
Hey.
joining us?
Yeah.
Sweet. Materials have all been prepared off-site. The engineer stamp on those structure drawings. We'll get a building permit and hopefully in October we'll get that picnic shelter erected. So, but having the foundation there is gonna, show the community where it's going for our grand opening event on October 4th. And we'll at least be able to show people that there's gonna be a sweet picnic shelter there. I've been on the phone with Kalispell Metalworks. They are the fabricators of all of the benches at Traverse Park. All the cool new benches, they're multiple colored, green, blue, they kind of match. They've got the city logo like carved in or laser etched into them. They are going to mock up some round picnic tables for us to put inside the picnic shelter. We think we could fit 5 or 6 on that pad. Those will be kind of the last amenities to add to that playground once the shelter is up. Bike racks, Maeve has 3 weeks left at work, and one of her last things to do is submit to me a she's got a spreadsheet going of quite a few little finishing touch items for the park. Bike racks is one of them. So we are going to replace the wave rack in front of the James E. Russell Sports Center. That was always a temporary thing because it's actually not compliant with their own bike rack standards. We prefer the hairpin style racks that bikes can lean against. When you try to put a bike in a wave rack, it just kind of slides down into the bottom of the rack. So we're going to replace that with some hairpin style racks that you can actually lean and lock your bikes up to. And then we're going to also put more, I think 6 of those over on that pad next to where the picnic shelter is about to go as well. So we'll have probably something like 18 bike racks at the playground and in front of the building once we get those ordered. So that's one of the things Maeve has been preparing for me before her time is up. The other one is concrete ping pong table or steel. We're looking at either a concrete or a steel permanently installed ping pong table under the canopy. This would be just a fun little free amenity. Anybody can walk in, grab some ping pong balls and paddles and come out and play for free in that canopy area. There's quite a bit of space there. So that's something that I'm really excited about as well. The other thing that has been ordered, it's being manufactured right now. After we got the engineer, we did get engineering done for this, also required an engineer stamp, but we got that, is the skate park shade structure. So that's now in production and will be delivered later this summer or fall. I think we'll go ahead and install it this fall. The canvas canopy might just not go up this year, but those posts that hold the canopy are probably just going to remain around. And finally, batting cages, Thompson fence, all that has to be done now is Thompson fence is gonna come install sleeves where the actual posts will go in the spring. We're not gonna put the batting cages up before spring though, because there's no baseball season at this point that would use them. The batting cages come with 100 or 70 by 24 feet of turf, artificial turf, really high grade artificial turf. So those are gonna look just incredible next spring when they are up and functional. And then the last thing that's not really like an amenity, but kind of trying to accommodate our neighbors at the sports center is we are also having Thompson Fence, a local fence contractor, work up a quote for increasing the height of the fence around the HVAC unit behind the sports center. There's one neighbor that's basically in the direct line of sight when that HVAC unit off, is doing the air exchange in the building early in the morning. It's not super loud, but it's loud enough that they say it's disrupting their morning coffee. So we thought to be good neighbors, we're gonna make a taller fence there, possibly a wood fence or a chain link fence that has some sort of soundproof barrier installed inside of it. We had the Gino engineering team reviewed that proposal and said there's no problem in terms of hindering airflow or anything. Outside of Traverse Park, fall projects for the parks crew before we lose our seasonal workers in late October include moving some of the old play equipment from the old playground at Traverse Park will be reinstalled at City Beach. We've been promising that forever. We're finally gonna get to it, including the swing set. So we're gonna have a new swing set where I think it's where horseshoe pits used to be at City Beach. It's in this kind of grove tree area over facing the monarchs, like looking out on that side of the lake. And there's kind of a sandy area. I'm not sure what was there in the past, if it was horseshoes or maybe a swing set a long time ago, but it's this really cool shaded.
The arborvitae kind of.
Yeah, what was in
circle.
that
It was
area?
like a kitty.
Oh, that's where the kiddie pool was. Yeah, that's what. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Actually, I might be asking you to sign a letter, sign a card, we want to do something cool for us, definitely do something for park, but I'll probably invite the park. The reason our park functions. Because it is super big of our year round. So. He's gonna do his best to get the volleyball card. He said it's not a big deal, I just know things are still big. So, that just involved ripping up the sod, digging down 8 or so inches. Again, we'll put the hole in the ground first and then. Seal it for the beach. That's not. I know Peter moved. Peter moved? Well, I think these guys feel sports past it. So, hoping that. Those are our 25 park capital funds. No, that's one of Dave said she found several. We have to, like cost compare and everything. So she was tasked with finding the reported price quotes. And when you go on these websites, show like the price, you gotta reflect the stuff. That's ours, so she had to, she put together a cheap list of different quotes. Yeah.
I was just thinking it might be, I think there's pros and cons to getting, obviously a concrete one, whether lasts a lot longer, be more comfortable, but I think it's probably pros and cons to some of the, figuring out where you want to put that permanent.
Well, before we go,
I mean, I think it's a cool idea, I'm all for it.
well, this doesn't prevent us from getting portable. These primitive ping pong tables are, they're kind of like a park fixture, right? You've probably seen them. Right?
They're really popular now.
Yeah. Yeah, but I would like to eventually get 3 or 4 fully used tables that we can set up in the room or out in that kind of area. And actually like have that was a request from an older friend of mine. Probably the life one. that, you know.
I think we lost audio again. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you anymore.
We can hear
We hear
you.
you. The owl's eyes are on.
Watching me.
Lori, can you?
It's like super faint.
I couldn't hear you for a while either. I can hear you better now.
Weird. Josh? Are you there?
Hello?
Hi, can you hear us?
Just barely, but just continue. I'll put my ear closer.
Okay. AirPods maybe. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's another thing that, you know, Ryan and I are gonna work on in the next few
Yeah.
months, is getting some pin up tables in there as
I
well.
was just thinking, you know, that's such a huge space out there and there's lots of things you could do with all of that space and it'd be, you know, you'd hate to set something there permanently and then be like, oh, now we can't,
Yeah.
now we can't do this other thing out here.
And actually, one of the
Take
reasons,
it all away.
I think a steel ping pong table might be better than a concrete is because it is lighter, so if we were to install one and we'd probably just bolt the feet to the ground like we do with the benches out there, it doesn't mean we can't move it if we needed to.
Right,
Yeah.
sure.
Would steel be more durable over time?
Yeah.
I know
I don't know.
Arizona, it's dry. Here we have tons of moisture sitting on it all winter. so I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'm sure there's pros and cons of
More
both.
prone to rust and stuff too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know, right? Pros and cons.
So those are kind of our projects that, yesterday, I'm now also the staff liaison along with Bill Dean with the ACHP commission because the mayor stepped back from that. And they brought to our attention, I want to share this with you guys because it's parks related. I wish I had taken a picture, I was just over there. But at lunch, I went over to the history museum in the park. And there's an old sign that had been, some of you have probably seen it. It had been up at the Chamber of Commerce at that kiosk in front of the Chamber building over on Highway 2, Fifth Avenue. And it was probably built in the 70s or 80s. And it's this very large wooden sign with a carving of Lake Pend Oreille on it. And it says some facts about Lake Pend Oreille, like 111 miles around, 30 miles wide, 50 miles long or something, 1,150 foot deep. And then has like a carving and a painted picture of like of a fish kind of jumping next to the lake. Really cool old sign. It needs a lot of TLC. We discussed yesterday with the ACHP commission. What would they like the fate of that to be? It's now it's in a city park, just waiting to be refurbished. They've got some volunteers who are gonna do the painting and lacquering or resurfacing of that. One idea was to actually install it at City Beach. So it definitely like kind of evokes the mid 20th century vibe. You already get a City Beach when you like visit the Snack Shack, for example, which was built in the 30s. So I want to know what the Parks Commission thought about installing this historic sign. I mean, I was warned it's heavy, so I went over there and it's definitely like a 4-person type lifting thing. So it's a big, heavy sign.
They're asking us to help you? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm saying, what do you guys think about putting like a little piece of like Sandpoint history at City Beach Park? It seems like better location than any other park we have.
Where do you think you'll put it?
One idea was put it on the side of the Snack Shack, like install it on one of the walls of the Snack Shack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't, that might be easier because we wouldn't have to build a frame for it or something. Yeah. So I should have taken a picture of it. I'm sorry. I was like.
That's a
standing
great
so
idea.
much.
Anytime you can, signs and
Yeah.
history and anytime you can integrate all of that,
Yeah.
it's great.
I feel like the vibe in Sandpoint right now is like, we don't want to see any huge like modernization of City Beach Park or dramatic change to it. I think people appreciate like the historic character and legacy of City Beach Park. This would add to that, I think. And then the other piece that might end up in City Beach Park is do you guys remember the sculpture that was right outside the window here? Like when you walked into City Hall? The two flipper feet?
Yeah.
That rotted out at the base and has been taken down because it was literally gonna fall on someone's car. And it's now down at City Beach, and the artist who carved that 20 or so years ago reached out and said he'd be willing to fabricate a new base for it if we had a place to install it. So the ACHP commission thought somewhere around the marina at City Beach should be appropriate.
Well, or the Memorial Arena, maybe,
Could be at the Memorial Marina as well. Yeah,
and we
So-
have something, and we have some cool art at both places.
yeah, that's an idea too. So
Yeah.
anyway, two kind of historic sculpture art pieces coming to our
Yeah.
park soon.
I like both those
Yeah,
ideas.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah. Cool.
Good idea.
All right, any other questions about projects going on in our parks this year?
So is it two new volleyball courts, one new volleyball court?
Yeah, I remember there's like
20.
there's four right now.
Yeah.
The way to fit them in is to put one up here and one down here, so it's gonna be kind of like a Tetris piece when we're
Yeah,
done.
they will be used, guaranteed.
Yeah,
Yeah, we already get in fights.
and that's a pretty low cost project. I mean, we can do all that work ourselves. We can probably even get the poles donated by
Yeah.
a pole yard. That's what we've done in the past.
So there will be 6 total.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Especially with club renting multiple.
Yeah.
Every year, then that takes up 2 out of, sometimes 3 out of the 4 courts.
Yeah.
And then there's some people ready to throw down.
Cool.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, looks like next up is the review of the RFQ for RV campground and city beach parking lot design and engineering.
Okay, this is also me. I'm gonna share my screen now, so everybody at home can see. This is gonna be some pretty small text, but I'll zoom in for you guys. So. Last month. Can you guys see fairly well at home? Lori, can you see this?
Yeah, I can see this.
Okay, so last month I brought this proposal to use the matching funds that were supposed to be for the WIF grant that we did not receive. For the City Beach parking lot. Taking the feedback we got, told you I didn't mind closing the door. Taking the feedback we got from the Idaho Department of Parks and Rec, which was, they didn't sense that we had a clear plan for that money, which is absolutely true, because we don't have a final plan for a City Beach parking lot. What are we gonna do there with grant money or with parking improvement dollars that we receive in the future? So with the $1 million budget for the RV park, obviously the first step of that project is to get it engineered and designed. Before we can get a contractor to build something, we need to know what we're gonna build. So the idea was, let's use the 100,000 we were gonna put towards construction of or resurfacing the parking lot, and instead put it towards design and engineering for our resurfacing, not just a resurfacing, but possibly like an improvement to that parking lot. Looking at more than just putting a fresh layer of asphalt down, but improving circulation, adding some amenities that we need there, such as stormwater treatment, landscaping, better trailer access to the boat launch, possibly a drop off, a bus turnaround, those sorts of things. So since last month, I presented that to council last week. They approved the concept of allocating that 100,000 of parks capital improvement funds towards design and engineering for the City Beach parking lot, along with the RV park. And now we've got a draft request for qualifications. So this is the next step. Now that we know what we want to do, we have to go out and find an engineer who can do it for us. Or an engineering firm, design firm, landscape architecture. You're probably gonna get a team working on this. And actually Eric's here. He'll be really great to help answer questions about how this sort of project unfolds, because he's done so many of these for the city and other, including for IDPR when he worked there. So I just wanted to go through these bullet points under the objective section of this request for qualifications and see if we're missing anything, get your feedback. Do these encapsulate what we want to do at City Beach in the next 2 years? With our first phase one is going to be $1 million for the RV park. Phase 2 will be, depending on what we get from a WIF grant, depending on if we see parking in lieu funds from the hotel. We still don't know if they're gonna submit for building permits in the next year. If they do, they'll be issued a $400,000 invoice. So that's money that we could put directly into that parking lot project. Because that money has to be used for parking improvements, unless they change their plan and are no longer asking for a reduction in parking. Everybody understand what we're looking at here? So we'll go through these bullet points. Tell me if I'm missing anything. I took some feedback from council last week, actually, that I added to this since last week's council meeting. So this is the scope, basically, of what we're requesting design and engineering services for. So the city seeks to engage the services of an engineer to help achieve the objectives listed below. These objectives are not prioritized and the list is not exhaustive. Statement of qualifications, SOQs, shall include a proposed scope of services that identifies the planning and design tasks required to fulfill these objectives. In general, the selected engineer shall develop the most cost-effective, defensible, and feasible scope of work for the project. So I'll read these because I know it's small on everybody's screens. So these are the bullet points. Renovate the existing RV campground to provide a modern, accessible, and high-quality visitor experience, incorporating current industry best practices and durable, low-maintenance materials. Replace aging water, sewer, and power utilities throughout the campground and address drainage and grading needs across the site. We don't actually have sewer at the campsites right now. We have water and electric. But there is a sewer main running directly east of the campground, so it wouldn't be hard to tie into that if we can make that feasible. Design an updated campground layout that improves internal circulation, site access, and the functionality of all RV sites, including ADA accessible spaces. Design a new or consider a prefabricated, I think was that your suggestion, Eric?
Yeah.
There are prefabricated restroom and shower facilities that might realize this cost savings rather than building something from scratch that meet current health and safety standard. I think the idea here is to have a restroom and shower facility that could be available to the whole park and tie to the
That
RV
was my
park.
next question was, would that be exclusive to the RV park?
It's our park.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we put it in the right location, it can be, shared by mortgage customers, for example, who come in off the lake and might wanna rinse off or use the restroom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was a misconception at the council meeting from one of the councilors that would be like. That would only be like no more bathrooms it was like a really weird conversation, but it was like, we're trying to make it very clear, like this could be used. So essentially would be benefiting because you could take 3 bathrooms, you have the snack shack. You have the one by the basketball courts, and then this could be one even closer where like a lot of the kids like to be right there in front of the
Yeah.
hotel.
yeah, there's,
So.
it's
this
a
is
huge park.
positive-
A third
net
restroom
positive
facility is,
for-
yeah, this could be really beneficial
I
to.
think that was lost in the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is a very good thing.
Yeah.
that we could-
I don't think there's any reason that if we build a restroom in the RV park, it would have to be exclusively for RV park customers.
Because RVs have their own restrooms.
Often they do, yeah, especially if we have sewer hookups, they might often just choose to use their own facilities.
A word of caution on that, whether you go prefabricated is almost always cheaper than a site-built facility. Say if you were to install a prefabricated facility with 2 showers, 2 men's, 2 women's, and then appropriate toilets, etc. The last one of those I purchased was in 2021 when I worked for Parks and Rec. And that was 3 showers on each side, male and female, and it was about $500,000. They're extremely expensive.
Prefabricated?
Yeah, and that was in $2020. We all know how things have, not saying it's absolutely worthy, but just as we're talking about budget, as we go throughout this, they get expensive in a hurry. The company I've worked with primarily is CXT, that's based in Western Oregon, I believe. They're fantastic. They have custom make you whatever you want. They have off the shelf kind of units. But they're not cheap. Just as as we move forward in this, it's an expensive thing, and prioritizing which improvements are the most needed, and completely agree with the whole conversation. Another facility in that portion of the park it's needed, and it would be fantastic.
We may learn early on from our design firm or our engineering firm that what we are aspiring to is not possible with our budget, but we might end up with just restrooms, maybe not showers, but we want to know what's possible, so we don't know right now until we get.
And you can always stub utilities for that, and then,
But then when you get.
fund it in the future, and that's worthy because you get one shot and you don't have to go back in and make a mess again. But just as this moves forward, just stuff to keep in mind. And as Jason said, there's gonna be other discussions on what is within the scope of the, $1 million and what isn't. Because there's gonna be some of those discussions.
That's great, thank you.
So moving on, redesign the City Beach vehicle and boat trailer parking lot to improve circulation, layout efficiency, and ease of access for both standard and oversized vehicles. Design a bus turnaround and drop-off zone near the parking lot entrance to improve group and transit access. This is thinking about the future. We've long heard, and we actually have a couple different concepts from our Parks Master Plan to our design report for 2023, drop-off areas at City Beach. We don't have a build-ready design for that, but we have concepts where the community has demonstrated a desire to have a drop-off area at City Beach. It doesn't require going all the way through the parking lot, so let's try to get that. Provide visual renderings and layout. So now we're getting into like, what are they gonna provide us? Provide visual renderings and layout concepts to support public engagement, stakeholder input, and future grant opportunities. Develop a public outreach plan to guide community engagement. The city will lead implementation and host public meetings. The engineer shall prepare supporting materials and provide visual concepts that reflect design options. Identify and coordinate required permitting across applicable local, state, and federal agencies. Assist the city with construction cost estimating, budget management, phasing strategies, and value engineering to align with the overall $1.1 million project budget. Consider an integration of public art or design features that reflect the character of Sandpoint and support the city's arts, culture, and historic preservation master plan. The park is actually within the urban renewal revenue allocation area. So it's possible that there could be some additional funds from that because there's around $220,000 in that downtown arts fund right now. So depending on the priorities of the ACHP commission and the SURA board, there might be some additional funds available for some sort of, sculpture or art component to this project as well. Outside of the $950,000 grant that we have. So that's the scope of work. Eric helped with this. Thank you, Eric. Welcome. Is there anything we're missing? Any feedback you guys want to give? I'll scroll up really quick because there's a couple more bullet points here that.
Are you envisioning any softening landscaping?
Yes,
Volleyball courts.
you're getting your damn volleyball courts.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, in fact. So this is a little bit more detail on what the design shall include. So renovation and modernization of the City Beach RV campground to include a redesign of the layout of the campground to improve circulation, harden road and campsites, landscaping and amenities. Such as fire rings, picnic tables, etc. Utility upgrades, restroom, redesign of City Beach parking lot for improved vehicle, trailer access, redesign of boat launch approach with an eye for pedestrian safety, shared use pathway on interior of park adjacent to parking lot to provide pedestrian connectivity for parking stalls to the beach areas, a bus turnaround and drop off area near the parking lot entrance, construction cost estimation and design to budget planning, etc. So.
Is a hardened road in the RV park, is that necessarily an upgrade? I mean, I could see where that would,
As opposed to like a gravel surface.
I could see where that would add a lot of heat
Yeah.
in the summer.
Eric, what's typical in RV campgrounds?
It depends on your budget and, you have options. One thing I've done in the past, I've done just for a little background, when I was with Parks and Rec, I probably worked on 24 campgrounds. So I've got kind of cost in my head that are relative as far as it relates to an overall budget. One thing I've done in the past that can have significant cost savings is paving the sites themselves and not paving like a loop road that comes in. And, the square footage of where the RV campground isn't huge compared to, something at Farragut State Park or something like that. But we're not trying to make it like that. We're, City Beach RV Park has its own unique things, primarily access to the lake. But you could cut your asphalt cost in third to half by hardening the sites, and campers like hardened sites. It's easier to level, your RV or your motorhome. And if it's raining, nasty weather, that's a win for campers. And the RV fund, the state RV fund that funded this grant, they prefer that as well for the same reasons.
Okay.
But it's all about cost and what you want to spend your money on. Having gravel campsites is not the end of the world. You can always pave that later. I
was
would.
thinking of it more, not necessarily from a cost perspective, but from preference, like,
Sure.
is that what people want?
Yeah.
It sounds like from what your experience, that's what people want.
And to your point,
I
adding
personally don't like
asphalt adds heat. And if we, do some landscaping and get some trees growing in there, that'll help. But it's absolutely a valid factor. One thing I would recommend as this is moving forward, if sewer infrastructure, for example, is a high priority, put that in now. Because you get one shot to make a mess and you know, if it, say you're up against it budget wise and you have, you know, do we pave the parking lot or do we install sewer infrastructure? Install sewer infrastructure.
Sure.
Because otherwise, 10 years from now, when sewer infrastructure is, you know, desired and there's budget available or something like that, you gotta go in and tear
Rip
everything out
everything out.
again. You can always pave it.
Yeah.
You know, that's no big deal. You can do that in a week. But sewer infrastructure is a bigger deal.
Sure.
I had a question with, some of the proposed scope items that we're looking at, are we? Is the plan to expand the current footprint of the RV park?
No, we want to keep it in the existing footprint.
We might have to reduce spaces in order to accommodate showers and fire pits and.
There's quite a bit of green space in the southeast corner of the
Okay.
RV park, that I think that's where we envision. It's also close to the sewer line there. We want to close the sewer and water lines.
Sure.
So,
So nothing you're proposing changes the occupancy?
oh, possibly.
Oh.
We may find that, you know, we had somebody comment that, Class A, is it Class A motorhomes? What are the really big ones?
Class A.
Class A motorhomes can't fit in any of our sites right now. Do we want a few sites for Class A motorhomes? Maybe. So that I don't think that we're not wed to the current like alignment of the drive aisle and the size of these sites by any means. I think it could all change.
I think a lot of that, if I may interrupt again, is, it's a function of what are the users like?
Yep.
Meaning, you know, those sites compared to lots of other campgrounds are pretty close together, and that's okay. Cause it's City Beach and you know, you're at City Beach, you're not at Farragut State Park. You know, you're not expecting that same experience,
Sure.
but that might be an appropriate thing for a survey. You know, the folks that use the campground and, you know, poll the last couple of years worth of reservation holders. Were sites too close? Were people making noise, keeping you up at night?
Right.
Whatever, and you can do some of that with landscaping, but when you have 10, 12, 15 feet in between sites, there's only so much landscaping can, you know, buffer noise and the like. But it's a balance, you know, how many sites do you wanna have, and that affects your revenue, of course.
Yeah.
And is that a
Which is
higher
important, 'cause
priority?
That's a big revenue.
Yeah,
Source.
And is that a higher or lower priority
Yeah.
than minimizing the number of sites, reducing them? How many are in there now? About 20, 25?
Amy? These bus went forward.
So say you went down to 16 or 20, that allows you to have a little bit more green space in between. But it's all a balancing act.
Sure.
I think one thing that I've assumed from the beginning is that the largest component of this in terms of cost is going to be a restroom facility. I mean, when you think about like the grading, putting down of asphalt and planting of trees and installation of fire pits, you're not gonna hit $1 million by doing that work. It's going to be that building that you put. With
Restroom
restrooms.
facility and utilities.
That's gonna be the biggest
Yeah.
part of the cost of this project is.
Yeah. And again, the RV fund and campers generally, if they have a sizable motorhome or a sizable fifth wheel camper or something like that, 50 amp power service is the standard. You know, 20 and 30 amp used to be the standard. You've got motorhomes with 2 air conditioners and a washer or dryer in them now, and that's pretty common. And, you know, I was the project manager for the lift stations project going on in front of City Beach, in front of the campground most of the summer. And I observed the type and, you know, amount of campers that were in there, and a lot of them are the big ones. There's a lot of small ones too, and pop-ups and, you know, 15, 20-foot campers, but there's a lot of $1 million motorhomes that are in there too. And again, it's the users. What do the users want? You know, and balancing how it's designed and the layout from there.
So, I probably should have made this an action item on the agenda, but maybe we can do it without a formal vote. We need a project advisory group for this project. And it can't be the full commission, but we could have a small subcommittee of 3 people. So if anybody's interested, including those of you on Zoom, are there 3 commissioners who might be interested in being on the project advisory group? What I envision that looking like is for the next 4 months, it's actually not the next 4 months, there's gonna be some gaps in between around the holidays. But over 4 months, 4 meetings, we will meet with the design team, with the engineering team, probably on the same day as our Parks Commission meeting. we can, if it doesn't work for everybody's schedules, we can move that to another day in that week, but the the RFQ calls for 4 project advisory group meetings between now and May 13th would be the final project advisory group meeting, at which time the project advisory group will make a recommendation to council. So are there 3 parks commissioners interested in joining a little subcommittee that over the next several months will work with me, maybe Eric or somebody from our project management team at the city, and the contract engineer who ends up getting this contract award, on reviewing, giving feedback on, kind of being the point for design feedback and iterations with the engineer. Any volunteers who want to do that? I'll write your names down if you're willing to write your pen. All right, don't all raise your hand at the same time, like, I can only take 3 of you, so.
I'll do it, Jason.
All right, Heidi,
Go on.
do I hear a Taylor? Or anybody else?
Potentially, if it can be, can we meet outside of regular work hours, or does it have to be?
Your best. It's probably gonna have to be a work day thing because of the contractors.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I
Okay.
can't commit to it right now.
But if we send an email out to everybody.
Yeah, we'll send an email out
But not everybody.
with some dates that those meetings will take place.
Hey guys, I have
Thank you.
your coach, so I do have to leave a little early, so I apologize.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Joel. Yeah, see you.
Jason, for that, is it pretty much just going to those meetings, or is it like how much work outside of those meetings?
No work outside those meetings. We're just gonna be shown the work the engineer's doing, that the design team's working on, and give feedback on it. Yeah.
Does that grant have to be spent within a certain amount of time?
RV fund grant, probably have through next year, and then we get an extension. Extensions are easy to get.
If you're showing progress,
Yeah,
say you're in design and you're balancing budget, you know, and do we do item A or item B?
Right.
As long as you're not just sitting on the funds doing nothing, they typically don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. I guess my initial thoughts are, if we're pulling the $100,000 from the parking lot to then also include it in the RV stuff. And then if the bathrooms are very expensive, could we not just have like a water filling station and a pump out station for the RVs that have, shower and bathroom facilities in them? It sounds like that's probably most of them, and that, I mean, the RV park has been used, it's at full capacity like all summer long, so I guess I just wanna protect, like, make sure we just don't go all in too fast. When we have something like, yeah, it's not pretty right now, I don't know, I think the surveys are a great idea, I don't know what the user experience is, but it's certainly not such a bad experience that we're having trouble filling it as it is, and so just as we look at what we're adding and the big scope of this thing, I guess my recommendation would be to just I don't know, do it in a way that we don't rush into blowing the budget too quickly on. And it's really, it's something we want that also works for the local community.
Yeah.
Not just people with the RVs coming into town, because that to me is more important, honestly, than the user.
Go ahead and
No.
finish.
Go ahead.
Well, then Jason, and also with these updates to the RV park, I would assume with a nicer RV park, we'd be able to charge more and bring in a
Yeah,
higher
that's part of it.
revenue.
And we're actually not like fully booked all summer. There are some peak weeks where it's pretty full, but it's only a couple of weeks really where we're fully booked out. I noticed a lot in like May, June, and even early July where it was less than 50% occupied. I think having the nicer RV park is gonna make it more attractive. People are gonna wanna reserve it, months ahead of time.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the reason we got the grant is to do that.
Yeah.
And looking at it now and after the sewer was all torn up and everything,
Yeah.
yeah, it looks pretty rough.
And
I'm not saying
the
to
whole,
prove it.
the whole idea of this project was, we're putting in 50,000 and we're getting
Right.
a million,
Right,
right?
Totally.
This was like, we put in the minimum match for this grant,
right,
figuring if we don't get it, there are other things we can do in that location. But one thing's for sure, that is like the gateway to City Beach, and it's pretty disgusting. Like, it's, there's a dumpster right there when you drive in. Like, it's crawling with maggots, like, it's gross. Like, we're getting rid of that dumpster. I'm sorry, that's going
Yeah.
away.
it needs to
So,
go.
so creating an experience, it may not be used by Sandpoint locals, but they're going to appreciate the beautiful product that we produce at this location compared to what it is now, which is something we inherited from the
Sure.
hotel that has
Yeah,
never been maintained
Yeah.
or improved. And if we can get a public restroom out of it, that benefits beachgoers and park users, that's gonna benefit the local community too.
I like your idea of a dump station. They require real estate, you gotta figure out where it goes, but that's
Well,
great.
there's a dumpster we're about to get rid of, that's taking up a lot of real
Yeah.
estate there.
And
It's
that
not
could,
in our
you
dumpster.
can realize great cost savings, by minimizing sewer infrastructure. Basically you have, if it were, say, there was room for it at the dumpster, or where the dumpster sits currently.
Would that be instead of sewer hookups then? Is that how
Yeah.
that works?
Yeah.
So you're saying there's cost savings to be, I hadn't even thought about
Yeah.
this, so.
That
do a dump
could be,
station.
that could be significant cost savings, and that's one of those balance points when you get a design team on board. Have them give you a rough order of magnitude estimate for, what does a dump station cost? What does sewer infrastructure at 24 sites cost?
Right,
And if you elect to install a dump station instead of sewer, maybe that makes the restroom facility more attractive. You kind of need it at that point. If you're not, if you're not having a dumpster. Another consideration is how long do folks stay in the RV park? If they're there for the weekend, 3-4 days, having sewer hookups, it's not as critical. If they're there for 2 weeks, different story. But that's a great consideration.
Might have space considerations too, right? If you don't have to have those at each site,
Yeah.
but there'd be more space to.
Potentially,
With
but
that.
typically your like water, sewer and power pedestals are all within a few feet of each other. There's separation requirements, but you'd save some space for sure. But your biggest benefit is just gonna be cost savings.
Yeah.
yeah, I have a lot to
Great
learn about
idea.
RV parks,
Yeah,
yeah.
RV parks are really fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to them than you would think once you get into them, but they're really fun to work on.
I'd say most of the ones I've been to around here do not have individual hookups, and I'd never seen that as an inconvenience. I think as long as there's a dump station nearby and it's clean and easy to use, I'm totally okay with that. And maybe you could charge a little bit more if they had individual hookups, but I don't know if it'd be worth the cost savings that you'd get from just having a dump station.
And you do this, Josh, you have an RV?
We just sold it, but yeah, for like the last 4 or 5 years, we had just a little travel trailer tow behind, and we've been to all over Farragut.
I see where that's going.
So Josh, with your vast experience as an RVer, I've added you to our advisory committee. Thank you.
Oh wait, I'm losing connection. Hold on.
Don't you dare.
Yeah, I could again. I'm kind of like with Taylor. It depends on the schedule. I might be able to swing it. So yeah, I'll look at your email and then consider it for sure.
Cool. All right, thank you guys. That's all I got.
Any questions before we move on? To our JER operations update, Brad?
Thank you very much. I brought some newsletters. I didn't bring enough because I was at the Bonner County Coalition for Health and there was a lot more people there than I thought they were. These are available online at the city site under JR, and they're also on the JER Facebook page, so you can go take a look at a digital copy there. But this is our first official newsletter, so it'll cover some things that I'm about to tell you about. But There's a lot of exciting news in there, what's coming up as far as programming, different things like that. Our biggest operational piece is we have launched the new membership program. That is live now, and Core Reserve is live. So we launched Core Reserve at the beginning of the month. I've heard you guys asking for data. I'm going to show you some stuff here real quick that I can do with you anytime you ask for it. I'm gonna share my screen here. I don't know how visible this will be as it comes up. So this is the Core Reserve platform. And one thing that I've talked to you about is this data is not very good in this chart yet, but this is giving me a daily utilization of quartz and a heat map of the percentages. It's going to take about 30 days for this information to kind of gel. But this is one of the cool things when we're talking about multi-use and where we have gaps. Obviously, we'll know Monday through Friday, hours of operation. So this is going to be a real important tool to look forward and see what else we can do. This is something that I'm happy to provide you guys for every meeting, or if I'm here, you know, we can pull it up and show you. Another cool tool that I have here. This is my membership status report. And so in the last 7, 30, and 1 year, you see all those little arrows ticking up here on this side. We imported 59 annual members from the old system. But as of just a few minutes ago, I proved more. We are at 119 now added, you know, with that 59 in there. So this gives me a running total of who's signing up annual, monthly, the guest memberships. As we get the LPOSD and city employees in here, we'll see that data. It will also show me a loss in the last 7, 30, or 1 year. So it'll be really good tracking for really how we're doing, taking care of members and that type of thing. So again, we're 10 days into this, and you can see a lot of really nice positive green arrows going up there, which I'm very excited about as well. The last thing I will show you on here is my transactions. And so this is my daily revenue. And again, September 1st, we started. This will trend out every day where we are. So our peak revenue was 3 days after we switched over. We had a $1,600 day. Dropped down over the weekend pretty low, bounced back up to $532 yesterday. These totals do not include the daily fees that we're charging out there. We haven't come off of the rec track for daily use yet. So this is only people who are signing up for memberships within the Core Reserve app. The other cool thing about this is half of these approximately are a monthly membership. And so we will start seeing this spike every month now as we have people renewing their memberships. The other beautiful thing about Core Reserve, when you sign up, you are automatically renewing every month.
Is that true?
It is totally the way it works.
So it doesn't forget you after 30 days?
Nope. So if you forget to come in and pay, you got charged, and that's something you agree to, and everybody does.
Just so everybody knows, in the old system, Rec Track, we could not set it up to auto renew every month. So what it was doing instead was everybody was forgetting to renew, assuming they're still members. They'd come in after the membership had expired, and you'd engage in this argument with them at the front desk. No, I swear I'm a membership. I'm sure I paid. I'm sure I paid. And it would take minutes and minutes of staff time to go in and confirm whether somebody was an active member. This is so cool now. You open your phone, you pull up the QR code. If your membership is active, you get this very pleasant dinging sound when you walk in. If it's not, what's the sound it makes? Exactly. So there's no arguing with staff anymore. Your membership's active or it's not. And if it's not, you can either pay $15, you can renew your membership right now from your phone. It'll take you 10 seconds.
Yeah. And that is.
But if it auto renews, that interaction is not gonna happen very
Correct.
often.
And those are the people that have signed up for the annual plan to pay monthly. There are people signing up for just a month. So we have people that are in town for a few more weeks and then they're headed south, whatever. So those monthly members, and that month is a 31 days from the day you activated it. So we don't have to do this every, first of the month or whatever. So the staff time reduction and just how easy this is tremendous. And then to Jason's point, we're not arguing with people anymore. Well, I think I paid or whatever. It's very clear. And so this data will be something that I'm super happy to share. You will be able to see this and I expect it to just get better and better as we get more and more people kind of signed up on that monthly or annual program. But this is what Court Reserve looks like on the back end. On the front end, not a ton of people are using it at this point. They're getting used to it. I'm seeing if my internet connection is live here. Let me go back to yesterday. Come on.
Can Court Reserve be web access as
Yes.
well or only mobile?
Very robust on the web. So I'm looking at it on the website.
Okay.
So you would see the same thing. So all of these boxes you see here in blue, those were court times that were reserved by different users. You can see their names there. It's set up so that when tennis courts are activated, it eliminates pickleball courts. So the system's really smart and knows that. But this is what it will look like when you make reservations, who's reserved it, what the time is. And I will be able to put programming on here, lessons, kids events, all that kind of thing. So we're 10 days into it. It has made an amazing difference in everything that's going on out there, and it's been super well received. People are very excited to have this running. Big improvement out there. And then I think just the finances on the back end are going to be tremendously better, because now, you know, if people did not activate their monthly membership and it was the 20th of the month, well, if I wait 10 more days, then I don't have to pay for this month because this month, because we were doing it as a calendar month. Now this is a 31-day monthly membership. So whenever you activate, you get 31 days. So just, it makes a lot more sense to people. And then having the daily fees go away, it's gonna have a lot of traction with a lot of people quickly. So that's my operations piece. It's been really all hands on deck, getting people switched over and signed up, and showing people how to use the app and download the app. Jason and I were on the KFRY radio program this morning, and Chris Bessler actually downloaded the app and got it activated while he was talking to us on the radio. So it is that easy. It is a very simple program to do, and we're activating guest memberships. And if I log out of this really quick, I don't know.
Yeah, show them where you can see the different member options.
Yeah, I have to log out of one portal to get into this other portal. So let me try to do this quickly with my connection here, and go here and see if I can go to Court Reserve. Okay, it's gonna go back. I need to log out. So when you log onto the system for the very first time, it takes you to a landing page that only is viewed before you become a member. So I need to log out of my admin, go back into here and go. And so when you see that, I also have the free accounts where anyone who's a youth, wake up. Okay, so this is our landing page on the site. So you see the annual for the city, for the county, and for general. And then these are the month memberships. So this is just purchasing 1 month. And you can also sign up for a guest membership, which is free. You can view all of the scheduling and everything on that. And then any member can add you to their court. And you can come in and pay the fee. And we've had kids already signing up in the 13 to 18 category, because it's not fair that they cannot reserve courts if everybody's booked. So now our youth can activate a youth account. They have the same 7-day advance reservations as our monthly users. They can go in there, book courts for free. So all of this is available when you first log into the Court Reserve site. It drops off as soon as you've chosen a membership and you just go to the normal landing page. But this is all live as well. And the guests, so if anybody says, hey, I can't skew that, just have them go activate a guest membership. And if you have a youth that's 12 to 18, they get a free account to do that. And then any of the kids 12 and under can come in with their parents for free all the time anyway, but we're not going to give them an account. They can use their parents because they have to have their parents there with them. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, looks great.
And on that revenue, the graph you showed us with the revenue.
Yep.
You're saying that's only showing people who have paid for these monthly memberships, so that's not even including any additional revenue from.
that's happening out there right now.
Like-
That'll all flip over and be in this chart in October.
Oh, okay.
But for right now, we're still using the rec track system to
Yeah.
book the drop-ins and that type of stuff. Cause not enough people have signed up and gotten
Yeah.
the free memberships and all that stuff yet. So 30 days, we're using both platforms. October 1st, we'll roll straight to Court Reserve. So all of the data in there will be, so the October month will be our first pure,
Test.
yeah, of what we are.
But you'll be, I mean, you're already making more revenue than what that graph showed us, so
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, that'll be so helpful
Yeah.
when, 6 months from now or
Yeah.
a year from now and,
For sure.
take the blindfold off
Yeah.
and have some of that hard data.
Totally.
Great.
Well, I've heard a lot of really good feedback, like within the community, so.
I have too.
Good.
Good.
It's great to hear. And we're gonna try to make this like a monthly thing.
Yeah, that's every month. Beginning
Yeah.
of the month, we will have our newsletter, what's happening, what has happened. Just that's the one piece of feedback I think we've all gotten. What's happening out there? I don't know what's going on.
Pushed out on social media too.
So it's on our Facebook site right now, and then the cool thing with this
I don't
platform
think the
is
city is pushing it out on theirs though, maybe.
Just Parks and Rec.
Okay.
it's on Parks and Rec.
Got it.
Okay.
Like,
So- And it's very easy to I can even text members if we had something come up or the building is closed down for a reason or something comes up. There's a really robust communication platform within Court Reserve where I can send people texts, send them an email, very easy to do. Jason had a tutorial, it took us how many?
The old
Little bit.
system was such a
It's
nightmare.
hard to get the old system to do it. This new one will be, communication will be super easy. I just will have to be careful not to communicate too much with people. So, but that's my operations update, for what's going on. So,
Nice.
Great.
Very, very.
And I just wanted to know job you're doing and feedback meeting and I've sat sometimes and kind of talked about some detail. I've kind of tracked it as it went. I just would turn around and I just want to applaud you.
Is that Eric?
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, I just kind of broke up.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Ryan. Does anybody have any more questions before we move on? We are running kind of short on time, and I do see we have one active item on the agenda. Jason, is there a way we can
Yeah, well, that's another,
to that?
that's another committee, opportunity. Eric, is this right? Holly wants one representative from each commission and committee, right?
That's correct.
So we already nominated Heidi and Josh to do the RV review committee. Another big capital project that's on our work plan this winter is, I think we're just skipping ahead of that action item right now to make sure. we
If that's
get it covered.
okay, yeah.
It's totally fine.
Make
Yeah, I
sure
don't
we
think
cover
we need
it.
a motion to amend the agenda.
Okay.
Holly Ellis, our public works director, and Eric are working on the downtown revitalization phase 3 RFQ. At the same time that we're working on our RV park and City Beach parking lot RFQ. What that means is they're gonna have an engineering firm lined up in a few weeks, couple months probably. And they also need a design review committee to work with that engineering firm. Downtown revival, why don't you talk about it, Eric?
Yeah.
Tell us what we're looking for.
So, RFQ is out on the streets right now. We're expecting, it's due Friday, so we'll get responses at the end of the week. And then we'll go through a typical, state code required grading process and then ultimately select a consultant for that. Phase 3 picks up where phase 2 left off in phase 1 previously, obviously. Phase 1 was Cedar Street, phase 2 was more or less First Avenue from Cedar Street Bridge down to where it ended, just north of Bridge Street. And phase 3, we hope to get down to Lake Street. Realistically, our budget may only allow us to get to Pine Street. And then potentially doing some intersection improvements at First and Superior further south as well. But nonetheless, this project is really high priority for all of us. Staff, and just generally, we want to ensure we're having proper communication. And, we're gonna have a representative from each committee commission on this advisory group. Downtown businesses, likely someone that is a local delivery person, whether it's FedEx, UPS, Cisco, what have you. And the advisory group is intended to, communicate to. So hopefully those individuals can then, disperse info to the downtown businesses to the rest of their committees, commissions, to all the other, you know, folks they might know in the area. And we intend to have, like 4 to 6 meetings throughout, kind of the design process and then early in construction. We hope to be in construction about this time next year. And, you know, once we get through the heavy, summer season, kind of starting construction, and then likely construction will continue into the winter. With that said, I can keep talking. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But more or less, we're hoping to, you know, be able to communicate effectively. And, that was the kind of reason for, you know, trying to get an advisory group put together, much like Jason described for the RV campground.
So is anybody interested in being the representative from the Parks and Rec Commission on this downtown revitalization?
I am.
Oh,
There you go. Jessica Jansen, I'll let Holly know.
I know more about downtowns.
And this does need to be voted on by.
Oh, that, I guess,
The rest of the members, yeah, so.
Do I
You might say-
call vote or do I?
you might say,
entertain?
Is there a motion?
Yeah,
Is there a motion to nominate somebody?
yeah, I would entertain a motion to nominate representative for the downtown revitalization plan. Somebody make a motion.
Do we have to make a motion to vote?
Make a motion to nominate Jessica.
Nominate Jessica.
I make a motion to nominate Jessica.
Seconded. Or now we just do roll call vote.
Yeah, or all in favor?
Or all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Bye.
Congratulations, Jessica.
Yeah.
And just, thank you,
Sure.
and these members will ultimately be appointed by the mayor. But I would be surprised if it wasn't, you know, if the mayor didn't take the recommendation.
Oh, yeah,
of
we'll
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all good.
so we'll be in touch.
Great.
Thank you.
So Josh, I just approved your membership to JER. How hard was that?
Yeah, I was just doing it while you were talking about Chris Bessler, and I'm like, all right, I'll see if I can beat his time and get it in there. So yeah, super easy.
Champion. Good
Appreciate everything you're doing there. Eric texted me. He said he lost connection, but he said make sure to give you lots of praise for doing a good job over there.
Perfect. Well, you're in. I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We can probably just breeze through these last 2 items, Taylor.
Okay.
The grand opening. We kind of had a meeting last week with a little organizing group. Our 2 new member services specialists over there, who are Tiffany and Linda, and Ryan and I all met to kind of start planning that. We're putting out a request for vendors. We're gonna look for 1 or 2 food trucks to go over there. I've already got one who's interested, so I think we'll have no problem getting a food truck. I've got an email from the United Way of North Idaho. Jen Reynolds and Rachel Peterson are gonna be up here because we're also, as part of the ribbon cutting, unveiling the Born Learning Trail, which is the next agenda item I wanted to give you an update on. This is a East Bonner County Library supported learning trail that's gonna go around the playground next to the sports center. It's 10 educational signs each, which is gonna be accompanied by a painted activity on the asphalt pathway for young kids who are in that playground. It's just gonna follow that path between the bear and the cougar and then finish where that path ties back into the fire road next to the sports center. We're gonna install that next week. So, but the reason I mentioned the United Way is gonna be here with a tent for the grand opening. They're looking to invite all local childcare and schools in the area, with the possibility of a few of them having tables if they desire. So that's the kind of thing we're gonna have set up around the playground. We'll be doing a ribbon cutting for the playground and splash pad and the Board Learning Trail. Obviously, the shelter won't be completed, but we'll have the concrete pad there so we can acknowledge Rotary Club and the other donors that made that possible. And then we're gonna have inside the building. What do you envision inside the building, Ryan?
Well, we're gonna have tennis and pickleball, for sure. We'll have cornhole set up.
Like free tennis and pickleball for anybody who
Yep.
wants to play.
Yep, and
Have you thought about connecting with some youth players to see it just, I mean,
Yeah,
did talk-
groups
did
of
think about
teenagers just
Yeah.
hit some balls at some kids?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep, so
okay.
all of that,
Great.
if you guys want a table in there, you know, as the Parks Commission or whatever you wanna do, you know, to just talk to people and do that, that's we have plenty of space. So we can certainly do that, but inside will be coaches, tennis programs, pickleball programs, talking about what's coming up, the tournament. You know, Selkirk is our sponsor of that facility. We'll have a big Selkirk tent up in there, a lot of gear to try out. But it's gonna be basically just your big, you know, come in and if you know about pickleball, talk to people. If you don't, you know, try it, play it. Tennis, same thing. So it's gonna be just what you'd envision a big open house. You know, come in, play with the toys and
We're
And-
thinking like coffee and donuts in the community room with the overhead doors open, food truck out front if people wanna get a late breakfast or early lunch.
Yeah.
And then we kind of funnel people, we'll do a ribbon cutting probably around 11 for the playground.
Chamber of Commerce will be there.
Yep, and then we funnel people in for coffee and donuts and then out onto the court. We think our court covering will be here by then. It's actually supposed to have shipped this week.
Correct.
This is that tennis court size vinyl court covering, city Sandpoint branding on the cover. It's a really neat system. It's $20,000, wasn't cheap. But we want to have that put out also as kind of a demonstration of how you can use the sports center for more than just tennis or pickleball. I learned yesterday that the Bonner Community Food Bank is doing their first ever dinner auction fundraiser at the fairgrounds. I'm hoping next year we can recruit them and anybody else looking for the best indoor space in town over to Sports Center, because you can have 200 people seated on that court easily.
And the capacity of the building is 900. So sky's the limit.
Yeah.
A question, do you think we could get a police officer down there with a radar gun and do like a fastest
Like
serve
have Pepper
contest or
Record, our
something?
superstar tennis
Something
player,
like that.
fastest serve contest. I love that.
Are you
That's-
gonna have
that's
the
right.
ball machines running?
We'll have all that out.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So,
I like that idea of a speed gun. That's a lot of
Speed
fun.
gun.
Yeah.
All right,
There could be like a
speed gun on the list.
3-month membership for whoever gets served. Whoever is
can
not a
out-serve.
high school tennis player.
Yeah.
Go, yeah, anybody can serve faster than Pepper, you get a 3-month membership. That's a really fun idea. Yeah. I haven't told Ryan this yet, but I think I wanna order some city branded cornhole that we can have there, let people use in the park. Yeah. Cool, so what do you guys think about having a Parks and Rec table set up? We have these cool table covers with the Parks and Rec logo on them. We could have a Parks and Rec table there, a couple commissioners could be there, and we can maybe have some information about the RV project, about other parks projects that are happening. Would anybody be interested in attending and just sharing maybe an hour shift at the table?
I would.
October 4th.
Okay, that's something else I can follow up.
Can you maybe get some name tags for us? That might be
Yeah.
handy to have, you know, just so people, just so you look official.
Yeah.
People know that you're.
Cool.
I'm gonna do the staff. Should I get some Sandpoint ID badges? Maybe
Yeah.
when I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Very cool. I like the idea of staff IDs.
Yeah.
Ryan has a little, do you have your backpack here with your pin on it? You guys wanna see what a geek this guy is?
My little license plate that says
7D.
WBJR.
He's got the hat too, with the same logo on it.
We should get like little string dampeners or something like that.
It's all coming.
Instead of being license plates.
I got a few more fires put out, get the place grand opened, and then we'll
Yeah.
And
Start
we
opening up
start getting merch.
merch.
Yeah.
Ryan didn't talk about, I mean, we have a few minutes left, but Ryan didn't even talk about, he talked about operations, but he didn't get into the next things on his plate. So we're gonna roll out the volunteer program in the next month. That's an October objective, which will allow for at least 2, maybe 4 hours of expanded operations each day without any additional payroll. We're gonna get after school programs going this fall. And we're also talking to a couple pickleball instructors who are interested in offering adults and youth pickleball programs, which we had very successful tennis programs over the summer. But actually my exchange student told me she's gonna be doing pickleball in PE class this year. They're doing it in the gym at school, so why don't we get the middle and high school
Get 'em
pickleball
over for
programs over at
Totally.
the Sports Center. So anyway, a lot going on. Thank you all. Taylor, back to you.
Do any commissioners have any additional questions or comments?
Did I hear you say something about United Way wanting to connect with other local childcare?
Yeah, so they're,
schools? You
United Way's mission is all around like childcare and
Right.
education, so.
So who's facilitating that, or did this?
I could ask if they need a local contact for that. Do you know?
I would have some ideas there, yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay, I'll reply to Jen and ask her if she needs any
Yeah,
support contacting those. I don't know what her local contacts are in terms of childcare providers. So, yeah, I'll get an email going.
okay,
I will be out of town for the grand opening, but,
Okay,
that sounds great.
cool, thanks.
Any other questions, comments?
what is the strategy for marketing for the opening? Are you guys, especially youth marketing, like, are you guys able to connect with the school district?
So I'm working with LPSD right now.
Oh, fabulous, okay,
So we're all in on that.
fantastic.
We need to set up a Facebook event.
And the other, and some of the other bigger private schools in town, I mean, lots of youth out there to, wonderful.
Yep.
Okay.
Does anybody have any, things they would like to see on the agenda for next month? Okay. Well, please email me if you do, or Tammy or Jason, so that we can get them added. And, got no public comment, so with no further business before do we have to vote to adjourn? No, you should call. Cool. With no further business before the commission, this meeting is now adjourned at 3:47 PM.
Thank you, guys.
Good work.